personality traits to job performance. Now, the whole reason we use personality questionnaires in selection is because certain personality traits tend to be predictive of performance in specific roles. Now, how do you arrive at these conclusions? And perhaps even more importantly, how do you assess the nature of those possible relationships? So, first thing you would do when looking to use a personality questionnaire in recruitment, you would need to think about the profile of the role. What kind of behavioral characteristics do high performers have? Do low performers lack? And then work backwards from there. In doing so, you would come up with a list of personality traits which you suspect are going to be relevant in some way. So, for example, in administrative roles which are very processual, you may want to look at conscientiousness as a personality trait because the ideal administrator tends to be meticulous, organized, and pays attention to detail. So you have a very good case for including conscientiousness into the selection process. Next, once you've come up with a list of possible personality traits, you would need to think about the nature of those underlying relationships. In the case of conscientiousness in administrative roles, it's clear that there would be a positive association with conscientiousness and performance, in that more conscientious people would perform better. But that isn't always the nature of the relationship. For example, in roles that require a great deal of resilience, the personality trait of neuroticism is likely to be something of a hindrance. So you may want to select negatively for that, picking people who are very unneurotic. And in some roles, you may want someone who scores in the middle. So in certain sales roles, for example, rather than getting someone who is extroverted or introverted, you may want someone who is ambiverted. There's some evidence to suggest that ambiverts have many of the positive characteristics of extroverts in that they are socially confident and able to interact with people, but lack the sort of drawbacks that you often see with extroverts. They don't seem as pushy or overconfident. As a result, you need to seriously think about the nature of the underlying relationships, whether you want people who are scoring high in certain traits, low in certain traits, or indeed in the middle.